You think a lawyer's life is just one big courtroom drama with fancy cars? Well, Hollywood's got a lot to answer for. Today, we're going to bust the biggest myths floating around the legal world. So, what's really going on behind those sharp suits and fiery courtroom speeches? Is it all just high-stakes drama, or is there, something more to it? All right, we are about to speed run through 7 huge myths about what it actually means to be a lawyer. You ready? Let's do this.
Okay, let's kick things off with a big one. The idea that a law degree is basically a golden ticket to getting rich.
Yeah, there's this popular idea that every lawyer, no matter what, is just rolling in cash. But here's the thing. The road to actually becoming an attorney, it's a marathon. You got your law degree, sure, but then there are 2 years of hands-on training and some seriously tough exams. So yeah, that massive paycheck, it's definitely not guaranteed. All right, myth number 2. You've got to be amazing at arguing to be a good lawyer, right? I mean, that's what everyone says.
Well, not exactly. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's really all about communication. The best lawyers, they persuade people with solid, well-researched facts and legal precedent.
Okay, moving on to myth number 3. And this one is a classic, straight out of the movies. You know that idea that lawyers basically live in the courtroom? Mostly a myth. I mean, sure, some lawyers, like advocates in South Africa, are in court a lot. But for most attorneys, the real work happens behind the scenes. We're talking hours of research, drafting documents, and meeting with clients. So what about the lifestyle? Myth number 4 tackles this idea that being a lawyer is this super glamorous job. Yeah, forget all that high-stakes intrigue you see on TV. The reality is way more, well, grounded. The job is packed with intense research and writing, lots and lots of paperwork and meetings. It's all crucial work for sure, but thrilling? Not always. Okay, next up is myth number 5, the idea that every single second of a lawyer's day is like solving some brilliant, complex puzzle. Look, becoming a lawyer is definitely a brain workout, but a lot of the day-to-day stuff, it can be pretty repetitive. Especially when you're just starting out, you might spend your days just reviewing huge piles of documents. It's super important work, but maybe not the most stimulating. All right, let's talk about a more negative stereotype. Myth number 6 is, well, it's a bit of a heavy one. This is that really damaging idea that lawyers are just dishonest, that they'll lie, cheat, and bend any rule just to win. But that could not be further from the truth. Legal pros are held to a super strict ethical code. In South Africa, for example, you've got the Legal Practice Council making sure everyone acts with integrity. There are serious consequences if you don't.
And for our last myth, let's tackle a fear that feels very 21st century.
With all this talk about AI and automation, you have to wonder, are robots going to replace lawyers? Well, not so fast. Technology is absolutely changing the game, but it just can't replace that human touch. You see, law is all about understanding nuance, context, and emotion. And let's be real, machines aren't exactly great at that stuff.
So there you have it. The real world of law is way less about courtroom shouting matches and a lot more about hard work, careful communication, and really high ethical standards. It's a much more complex and honestly more interesting picture than what you see in the movies. The difference between what we think lawyers do and what they actually do is massive, right? So I want to leave you with this. Now that we've busted these myths, what part of the real legal world surprises you the most? Think about it.